Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us for our very first episode of the Sexpo podcast. We have a lot to talk about today, so we'll just hop right into it. I have 3 guests here with me today, and we're going to go around and we're going to say our pronouns, our name, and our year in school and our major. So I'll just start off. My name's Lauren. I'm the host of this podcast. I use the she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm a second year in college, and I'm a journalism major.
Hey everybody, I am Jayla. I'm a sociology major, minor in legal studies. I'm a freshman, and I use the she, her pronouns.
Hi, my name is Lizzie. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a zoology major.
And our third guest is actually currently taking her birth control right now. So she's actually away from the little recording studio. So we're just going to wait for her to pop back in. And, oh, she's here. She's just busy taking a little birth control. We'll just take a little pause.
Okay, I'm back.
This is our third guest.
Hi, I'm Nija. I use the she series pronouns. I'm also a zoology major on my second year.
Awesome. So if you have already noticed, we all use the she series pronoun and all identify as women. So it is a little bit of a girl chat today. So I'm going to acknowledge that it is primarily a women identifying talk today. So we don't have other voices that maybe identify as male or non-binary. Just want to acknowledge that today. It's just us identifying as women. So we will just hop into it. So you'll get to hear a little bit of a women perspective today. Got a couple questions, but we just want to let this flow. So we'll just hop right into it. We'll have each of us go around and do a little brief history of our sex education or lack thereof. So we'll just go around and kind of talk about what high school was like, maybe what your parents taught you, maybe if religion came into it. We'll just kind of go around. So Jayla, I'll actually have you start since I went first last time.
Okay. My sex education with my mom, she didn't really explain it, but I distinctly remember she had this religious metaphor, and she would say that her dad used to say it. It was like when the worm gets in the apple, creates a bad apple.
Pardon me.
Wow.
Or something like that. And it wasn't like the birds. She was like, it's not like the birds and the bees. It's like the bad apple. And I was
the
like,
worm in the apple.
I was like, okay, but I didn't really know what she was talking about because I was 10, and I was like, I kind of knew. Okay, maybe I was 12. But I kind of knew what she was referencing, and I was like, Mom, this is a bad metaphor, but slay, I guess. I was like, okay. That's about it. That's all I got from her, about sex, I guess, because she's Christian, so I guess that was a little.
A worm in an apple.
Yeah.
Makes a bad apple.
Makes a bad apple when
Did
the
she
worm
say
gets into the
did
apple.
she say the more worms that get in, the worse the apple gets, or is it only the one
I think
worm?
it was just the one
The
worm.
one worm.
Because you only marry one person.
Right, of course.
Yeah, right.
Right, my bad, yeah.
So that was what she told me. We never talked about sex, the act of it or whatever. She talked about when my sister started dating, she talked about not trusting boys, but I don't know what that was in reference to specifically. I don't know if it was about sex or if it was just them taking
Just
care
not
of her
trusting.
daughter.
Men are
Yeah, men are untrustworthy. I don't know. In school it was a lot better. I got it in 5th grade, but it started with the period stuff,
Mm.
and that was interesting. It was quite educational. It made me really scared because I was like, girl, what the hell is going on? And then I got my period in that summer.
What age?
Before, I was 11.
I was 13. How
I
old
was
were you?
17.
Were you really?
Yeah, I got
God.
mine really late.
What?
Really?
Fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, I know why now, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
damn.
Why'd you get it so late?
PCOS,
Oh.
polycystic ovary syndrome.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so super irregular, super aggressive. for no reason.
Mm.
Hence why I had to go take my birth control on time.
Lizzie, what age did you get yours?
I think it was 6th grade, so I was like 12. I think it was 12. I'm pretty
Yeah.
I
sure.
was going into the 6th grade.
Yeah, mine was the
I
summer
think.
before 6th.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
Mine
it was in
too.
6, so I think I was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a common.
I think
Yeah.
12 is like a good, like a pretty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Standard.
My mom
Standard.
didn't get hers till she was 18.
My mom got hers when she was 10.
Dang.
And she thought she was dying. So
I
she
was,
would just
yeah.
throw away her underwear.
Stop.
And then her mom found them and was like, "You're not dying. You just got your period." Because she had like no sex education.
Yeah. Also, want to acknowledge that not all women get periods, and some people who are not women get periods. Just want to acknowledge that. Actually, my sister doesn't get periods anymore. Actually,
Really?
yeah.
Like early menopause or?
Is there a reason?
She had gotten IUD actually, and it caused her so much stress and like pain and so much bleeding that she got it taken out, and she just like hasn't had them at all
Oh,
since getting it taken out.
Wait, when you get an IUD, you don't like bleed. Do
Yeah,
you?
that's the
Like
point.
your period like stops.
Yeah, but she got it taken out, and
Oh, it's
she
still
hasn't.
gone?
She hasn't.
But
She hasn't
oh.
had any since she got it taken out.
Wait,
Maybe
that's-
it's still like re-regulating.
But she was
or
bleeding
something.
so much when she had it in.
When
Really?
did she get it removed?
I'm not sure. I think.
That's kind of personal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not sure, but
When did
when
she
she-
get it taken out?
Yeah, like tell me the details.
who was the
Were you in the
doctor?
room?
Who was the doctor that took it
Yeah.
out?
Stuck in the room.
No, it was kind of crazy. She was hospitalized because she was bleeding so much.
Oh my
She had like
gosh.
6 clots.
Oh.
In like over one night, and they were like giant clots, and they were really like, so she was starting to freak out because like it was like bleeding. She bled through her underwear, she bled through her pants. I hope she doesn't kill me for telling the story.
Oh my god.
Bled through her underwear, bled through her pants, bled onto the couch, bled like she, and this
Was
was
just
consistent. She had a pad in, like it was. She's not a tampon user. Not everyone is,
I'm
right?
not.
You're not.
No.
I'm a tampon. I actually did not start using tampons until I was 17. I was so scared of
See?
TSS.
I
Toxic
didn't use
shock.
them because I could never put them in correctly.
That is
And they
valid.
hurt.
I
Well, I was, but they just hurt. And then I think if I use them now, I'd be fine. But they still make me really anxious because I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I know if it's full?
And you don't want to put that.
How do I know when to? What if it's not? And then I pull it out, it's dry.
See,
And I'm just afraid of all that.
I'm scared of like period cups for that reason. Like I'm
Right.
scared I'm gonna pull it out and it's just gonna be everywhere, like all over me. And like I know that's not how it would work, but
Yeah.
that's what I think of every time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with boiling them. So.
Yeah.
Pads are just like right there. Like you see it, you're like, okay, it's done, or you know.
I used to be an avid pad user, and I actually got some shit for it in high school.
Really?
I
I
think.
did too.
Did really?
Yeah,
Is it
my
like
friend
a
were
diaper
like,
thing?
they're like,
It
it
smells.
smells. You're wearing a diaper. But
It's
I'm like, girl,
gross.
I don't feel comfortable wearing a tampon.
That was my
And I was really insecure about that. I still am.
Aw.
that was my experience too. Is I wore a pad for the longest time. I was lucky that my best friend, like in the whole world, she doesn't wear tampons actually still. But I was like, I only wore pads because I was so scared of TSS.
Yeah.
And then people were like,
Which is valid.
you wear pads? Like,
Yeah.
ew, that's so gross. Like, it's so. And I was like, I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's
I didn't really know what to say. And then when I was 17, I actually started using tampons. And personally, I realized how, like, convenient they are for me. But I know, understand they may not be convenient for everybody.
I
Like
think
I
sports.
exclusively wear
Do you sleep with
tampons.
them?
Yeah.
in?
That's
I
because
do.
I wouldn't sleep with one.
I
If
don't.
I tried.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I would do that.
Lizzie and
That
I
would
actually,
scare me.
Lizzie and I had this
Yeah.
conversation just a little bit ago, this morning actually, because I was telling her that
Yep.
I actually free bleed at night.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds so weird, but like I
No, it doesn't.
I can't wear a
No, it honestly
tampon. Maybe it's not weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
It's not
weird.
weird.
It's just
It's just not like
the
not a lot of people talk
norm.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I just can't wear a tampon at bed in overnight because it just gives me too much stress, like as an anxious
No,
person.
yeah.
And I hate wearing a pad to
Yeah.
sleep now, and so I just like free bleed into like a specific pair of period panties.
That's a slay, honestly.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who do that. I just feel like no one
Yeah.
talks about it. And like also like pregnant women, like they can't put a tampon
Yeah.
up there.
Right.
So they have to wear like either those huge like
Wait, yeah, they can.
well, it not for like right after.
Oh.
Like, right after, yeah.
Like right after birth.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Are they even while they're pregnant?
No, oh my gosh, you can definitely wear
The
a
baby's-
tampon while you're pregnant.
The baby's like in the vaginal canal, just like
After.
sticking a hand
Just
out.
grabs it.
It's like pulls it in.
Pulls it in.
It's like,
A snack.
It's a snack.
Stop.
Did you guys ever hear that thing about people were convincing, like, women were convincing people that we were eating our tampons?
Yeah, on
Did
TikTok
you-
it was a
Yeah.
trend.
Yeah.
No.
Or using it as a facial,
Mhm.
Oh, I did see that one.
or like your face peeling.
I
After
saw that
every-
one. That one was funny.
It was just a face mask.
And it's funny that so many, like, well, at least
Men-
most
some
times
men
I
were,
saw the
like,
men who did not believe
confused.
it.
Well,
or
they
they,
just,
sorry,
like-
they did believe it. They're
Yeah.
like, your face
Yeah.
pills every month.
Yeah.
They're just so gullible because they're not educated on what happens to female bodies.
Right,
true.
right.
Which, like, in a sense, I kind of understand because obviously they don't have a female body. But if they're interested in women, then that's like valuable
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
to know.
I think though the vagina's complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so.
Can confirm.
I think-
As a woman,
I think.
confirm.
Sorry, I guess the vulva is complicated. I think.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Yeah.
is it? I don't know. I struggle with this because I'm like, is it really complicated, or just we don't talk about it, like, or we just don't learn about it? Because like, the penis isn't.
sorry. Not laugh at that.
Were you one of those kids in high school when they made you say penis out loud? You laughed.
In health class, they're like, the teacher's like,
no.
okay, the
No, I would laugh at the people who laughed.
Mm.
Like, I'd be like, that is funny. Like, a little bit.
Did you all go through that thing in high school where
Which
it
one?
was you had to say penis 3 times?
No.
No.
We never.
Absolutely
They never
not.
made
That's
us say it.
indoctrination.
That feels forced.
That was me. I had to. It was penis,
I'll say
penis,
no.
penis, and then it was
Don't say it three
it was-
times in the mirror.
If you
But
say,
just-
yeah, we'll want to penis.
it's Beetlejuice.
A big
So-
penis
You just,
will
like,
appear
boom.
and just
It's Bloody Mary.
But it's just a
It'll
penis.
just wiggle around.
penis.
Oh.
Not attached to anything. Just going.
No,
It's
it's just
just
like
flaccid.
floating.
Oh my god! It just weeps in the
We did have
corner.
to do the thing though where I had to put like a condom on a wooden dildo.
I did
Wooden.
That with
It was a
banana.
wooden
What?
dildo.
I did a banana.
It was a
We didn't
wooden dildo.
Put one
Oh
on.
my god.
So impaired and
No.
brought it in. Boom.
Okay, that's
I had to
kinda cool.
say penis 3 times and vagina 3 times, and everyone had to say it. Everyone was literally forced. They said we're gonna say it as a class, but more people were definitely like reluctant to say vagina, and
Really?
Yeah.
like they were like vagina, vagina, vagina.
Really? I think it's like, I'm sorry, but penis to me sounds vulgar, but vagina
Yeah.
does not.
Vagina sounds like nice to
Like, it
me.
sounds like a flower.
Yeah.
I'm
Have
like,
you,
"Aw."
have you guys? Do you guys watch The Circle?
I
Yeah.
love that show, but I have not watched the new
season
season.
4. There's a girl on there who's a assistant to a sex coach,
Mm.
and she has a vulva pillow, and she brings it in, and she's like, I can say vagina so many times. And I'm not ashamed of it. And she's like, in the interview, she's like, vagina, vagina, vagina. And she's like, my vulva pillow, like, I love her.
Yeah.
No, it's so, I just thought that reminded me of that.
I had an ovary pillow,
Oh yeah.
an ovary heating pad actually. It was like an ovary heating pad, and
It
I
was
could
really
heat it
cute.
up and just put it on my
Wait,
ovaries,
That's cute.
and then it got
Eaten by mouse.
eaten by mice because I had
Chewed through because
chewed through 'cause it had grain.
Oh,
yeah, it was very
to
upsetting.
the audience, you couldn't see my face, but I just made a oval with my mouth.
Made an O.
Well, what?
Yeah.
An O.
Oh.
Speaking of O's.
Transition, you're welcome.
Oh.
Wow, what a
Look
good
at that
segue.
segue.
Yeah, I love it. No,
The
It was
big
interesting.
O. How
um,
many names do you know for orgasms? There's like the big O, right? There's like, I don't know.
Come.
Like,
Creamin'.
Finishing.
ew.
Finishing is pretty
Finishing is a really
popular.
common
Finishing is a common one.
Squirting.
That's gross. I'm not just no.
That
okay.
is shameful.
It's not-
That is
okay, I didn't mean it
shaming.
like that. I didn't mean like I am not. I don't understand it.
I can't
I'm
do
a little
it.
confused by it.
Like it's but it's not gross.
No, it's not gross.
No.
I
It's
take it
just-
back. I take it back. I need to learn more.
I
I
think,
don't know much
I
about
think
it.
it could be startling. That's for sure.
I think it can be
Well, because
startling.
people don't like.
It
People
could be.
aren't really told that that's a possibility when
Yeah.
you're younger.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
And so, like, your first experience actually, like,
Witnessing it?
finishing and, like, squirting, like, it can be, like, kind of
Jarring.
scary. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's just what's interesting is like in reality, it's just female ejaculation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
Like that's what it is, right? Like you
True.
can finish and not ejaculate, like in terms of like a vulva, right?
Yeah.
Men is typically like the same. It's just one and the same,
Yeah.
two and the same. But like it's just female ejaculation. I guess squirting though it's funny
It's
because
Kind of the same as a guy finishing. Like,
yeah,
It's
it's
just not-
it's pretty much the same. Did you know that the longest ever recorded squirt for a like a guy finishing is 8 feet? Like he squirted essentially.
They go far.
8 feet is the world record.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
we're
Yeah.
little flyers now.
The fires.
Is the world record 8 feet?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Because
That's a lot. That's
who
far.
witnessed this?
Yeah.
They
Who
had
sat
a
there,
yardstick.
watched this man jack off and shoot 8 feet?
I don't need the hand motion,
Yeah.
but then, for those who can't see, she's doing the hand motion of jacking off
With a paintbrush.
with a paintbrush in her hand, actually. No, it's interesting too because speaking of orgasms, circling back to coming.
Alright, we're going for it. It's really aggressive.
It is interesting because in high school, all the people that I was with, except for the woman that I was with, none of the guys I was with could make me come, right? But I thought this was like a universal thing for like high school guys. I thought it was like this stereotype, like high school guys can't make women come, like all this stuff. I talked to like half my friends, and they were like, "No, my boyfriend can. Yeah, my boyfriend does
They're
every
lying.
time."
They're like, they're just saying that.
Yeah,
to
that's
make it
a
sound
full
cool.
lie.
No, they were
They
not.
dead ass are lying.
There's no, they genuinely weren't. Like we were best friends, and they were like, "Yeah, like it took me a couple times, but like after leading him for a while,
it-
like
During
Yeah.
How would you
the
eat
big penetration
oh my God.
sex or other ways?
it was
Yeah,
other ways.
that's
It was
why.
never during penetration.
That's why they were
That's
lying.
why.
That's
yeah.
why they
Yes.
weren't lying. You're right.
See,
You're
that's
right.
true.
Because that clarifies a lot.
Yeah.
How did you even know how to do that in high school? Like,
What?
just be like, I told them how, and then they did it.
I don't know.
Like, I could not
It's
even.
Because that wasn't me. Like that wasn't me in high school. Like I was never like, here's how I want
Exactly.
to be
yeah.
to be shown
I was
like
like-
love and
Yeah.
how I want to have sex. It was just kind of like, okay,
I didn't like know how to masturbate properly until like after senior year.
same.
I
Like,
that
I was
was
not touching
insane.
the clit. It was
Yeah.
not. I was really confused.
No, I was like, why don't
Yeah.
I care that there's fingers in my own fingers inside?
Yeah,
Like, I was like, this sucks. I was
is
like,
not doing it for me.
I never like actually used my fingers like to like insert it in. I just like
Oh.
was like, okay, you know.
I was just like,
I just because I didn't. I was like scared. Okay, I was scared, and then
Yeah.
when, and like I was also a virgin until like literally this year.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, I don't know. But I tried a little bit. And like my ex was like, he tried it and he was like, are you like, have you ever had someone like, eh? And I was like, no. He was like, mm.
Oh,
I was like,
oh.
That's exactly the
okay.
reaction
Like, and then
you
he was like, okay, like he didn't do it. And I was like, oh.
Oh,
I just
Like,
thought
didn't want to.
I just
do
thought
that.
inserting fingers was the only way. to
me
make
too.
you,
Me too.
Yes,
Like have an orgasm.
I knew actually in 7th grade.
Oh.
This is really weird. In 7th grade,
It's not weird, probably.
I had
Unless it's like. Anyway.
That's why
In-
I was
I don't know. I'm just waiting.
in 7th grade. I actually had my first orgasm in a dream.
No,
No
same.
And I
way.
did not know, so I woke up and I was like, that felt so good, but like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the
Weird.
fuck was that? I didn't know what it was. So what was interesting is actually my best friend and her brothers, who I was really close with, we all like were hanging out one time, and we got in this really weird conversation. This is like 7th grade. I mean, like they were like my brothers because I knew them for so long. But we were talking about, they were asking us if we ever orgasmed, which is so weird for like
Whoa.
13-year-olds to talk about. And it was such a platonic conversation.
Like
Yeah.
there was no.
Like there was
sexual
no
chemistry.
like, oh my god, did you or like it was just like, oh, do you guys orgasm? Like it was
What the
obviously
fuck?
I don't
the
think
guys-
I knew what that would have
I
meant.
didn't think.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of would have.
the guys were
Yeah.
asking that out of like pure confusion and like
Oh.
curiosity.
Do girls have?
Yeah. Like do girls come? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like that. And all my friends were like, no, like I haven't yet. Like it's 7th grade.
And
It's
you
like
were
in
like,
7th grade.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So why would
actually,
I tell you?
No, that's
I said actually
interesting.
in a dream I did.
Because I had that, like, not in 7th grade, but I had, like, a very similar experience where I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? Can I do that again? Type of thing.
Mm.
But I didn't know how it happened. I just
Yeah,
like,
I didn't
remember
know.
waking up and being like really confused. I was like, did I piss myself? Like what happened? Obviously not, but like it was like a very similar like. And then I felt really ashamed about it. I was like, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't feel that way.
It's wild because growing up not religious as well, like I'm after the first time, like I kind of did like touch myself. Like I didn't like orgasm, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I felt so shameful, which I was like, I'm not even religious, so like, how would that like correlate? But then I just felt like shame. I just felt like bad. I felt guilty. I also had this like fear that like
The FBI would find you.
no,
What?
not exactly.
Oh,
The sex police.
No, I mean, that's the thing. So when I watched porn when I was like younger, because
Stop.
let me say, I started watching porn very young,
No, I did too.
but on accident
Same.
because I
Really?
was on an app, and it was like someone was like, "Oh, have you Googled this before?" And I was like, "No." So I Googled it, porn, like porn website. It was like midnight. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" So I thought I was going to jail because I thought I was looking allowed to look at naked
You're
people
going to jail.
online.
Yeah.
And I was convinced that the FBI would trace my iPod Touch and bang on the door
Oh my god.
and be like, your
That's
daughter's
a
watching
valid
porn, we're taking her
concern.
to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Take her to
Like,
jail.
I was
that same
convinced.
kind of fear.
To-
No, and one night
jail.
people came into our house because like my dad had friends over after we went to sleep. And I thought it was the FBI. Like, I was like, this
Oh
is it.
my
I'm going to
God.
jail.
they're coming to get
I
me.
cleared my browser history. Like, I shut off my iPod Touch. I threw it across the
iPod
room.
Touch.
Yeah, I was watching on my iPod Touch.
No, like
Pop
this
it
sounds
off.
so weird, but like I think I've discovered like masturbation because I just kind of started rubbing against stuff.
No, yeah,
Like,
yeah, okay.
I
yeah.
was like in bed and I would like rub against something and be like, wait, that feels kind of good. And so then I just started rubbing against things.
You know what?
She's like
Guys
that. She was
probably
like
do too.
she was like that one kid in kindergarten that was like in the corner doing like whack shit.
No, I would
She's
never
just
do it in
rubbing against
public.
like a chair in the corner.
There was a guy in my
Like at the parent teacher conferences, they're like, we love Jayla. She's a
She
great
rubs up
worker,
against-
but she
Except-
really rubs up against a lot of things, and we need to work on that.
No, but then like my mom like found. I think my mom found me one day and was like, "Stop!" And I was like, and then I kept doing it.
Stop.
My in my middle school there was a boy who I remember overhearing this in the hallways was like, yeah, I fucked my couch last night.
Honestly, same.
Wait, part of
Jayla,
family
with
couch.
No, wait.
Nah, Jayla was grinding on that thing.
Well, like, I think it was,
I was.
hopefully it was not the same as this guy.
I didn't know I was like fucking kid.
It's okay.
I was like,
No, yeah.
I
He
like
had his
this.
full penis
No, his penis was
inside the
out
couch.
and in the
Okay,
couch.
see,
No,
I
because
would not
this is
have
a
done
universal thing for guys, apparently.
Having sex with couches?
No, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Okay,
speak for
oh,
all
okay,
people
not
with
universal.
penises. Like, I don't want to speak for people with penises. I really
As
don't.
we don't have one.
Yeah.
As I don't have one, I have a vulva. Just to clarify. But I actually was talking to my ex-boyfriend, who I'm still friends with, and he was like, "Yeah, one time he stuck his penis in a paper towel roll, or no, a toilet paper roll,
Isn't that,
a
like,
toilet
stiff?
paper." Yeah, he wanted to like
Does that even feel
compare the
It's, like,
size.
scratchy, though.
He wanted to compare the
Paper?
like size, he wanted to see if it fit. Like just in
Bro.
it, he was curious. Like the
You
toilet
gotta
paper, like the
smell it.
empty toilet paper roll, right? Like the
Toilet
cardboard.
It's
He
like
he
this big.
he put it on and he was like, "Oh yeah, it fits." Like it was intriguing. It wasn't like he was
It's
masturbating with it, but
interesting.
he was like,
was
"I
like,
want to see if I can get it on
I
my
could fit a
penis."
toilet
Be
paper roll in
honest.
my
Yeah.
If I had a penis, I would totally stick that shit
Yeah.
in random things. Like, I'd be too curious.
I definitely would do.
No, and he was like,
Honestly.
he said he'd fucked a pillow once.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he knew
Big mouth
somebody
shout
who,
out?
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He knew somebody who fucked a banana peel.
That's
What?
not fair.
that was
one's
that
a
was something in
little
my high school. I
odd.
actually know who he is, and I will not speak his name because I don't. I'm so sorry. I just can't do it. And he
I
fucked a
think that's
banana
fine.
peel. He liked the like slime of the
Ew,
peel and like
ew.
the
No, that
softness.
makes me a little uncomfortable.
Like, I
Like,
could
I
kind
do
of see,
you,
but like no.
that makes me personally.
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Like,
I-
not shaming, but
I think it'd be interesting, like, if there was a male here to ask if how like a male orgasm feels, because I wonder if it's different than a female.
Well, it's still the
Because-
same contraction of muscles, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know like
like,
the sensation.
Does it feel the same? Like, does it?
I've actually no.
Do you want me to call
do you-
Jimmy? Be like,
Oh.
Just name dropping. Do you know what's so interesting is actually apparently
Curious.
a couple I saw on TikTok actually a trans woman came out and talked about before she transitioned she had a male orgasm.
Yeah.
But she had transitioned to a woman as who she is now, and she has been able to achieve a female
Oh
orgasm.
my gosh.
And she said her female orgasm is better.
Really?
That does not surprise me.
She said that. I mean, this
I'm not
is a
surprised.
perspective. It's the one perspective from TikTok. I mean, whatever. But
Yeah,
like,
but like,
it's very interesting. She said that
Yeah.
before she transitioned from the gender she was assigned to, she essentially compared both, and she says
Yeah.
a female orgasm's better.
Well, I also know that I remember, I don't know why I know, like where I read this. It was like an actual official article from like some sort of medical journal. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I
She's
know
just
this.
reading medical journals.
Yeah.
But STEM major. Just kidding. But I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure like different like pleasure centers in the brain light up for the different orgasms. And maybe that's wrong.
I mean,
But
Do you-
it would be interesting to me to see if that is so accurate.
yeah.
Do you guys get post nut clarity like guys do?
I don't think so.
I don't
I don't
necessarily
nut
know.
enough
I
to know.
I don't
Yeah,
either.
I've never had like a
Honestly.
decision on my mind when I'm like having an
Um,
orgasm. Where I'm like,
But it's not necessarily a decision per se. Is
What
at least what I've
like,
talked
is
to.
it?
It's like
You're just
it's
like,
like-
oh fuck, my life.
I hope not.
You
no.
know?
So I
It's
talked.
like, oh, this girl's not it for me.
Yeah.
So I talked to my friend, and
guy,
he said
I don't know.
that sometimes. Okay, so there's two versions in my opinion of the post nut clarity. I don't know enough about it, but there's an opinion that post nut clarity is like. Have you heard of the sensation of like disliking a woman after you've had sex with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like a version of post nut clarity, which is actually not that common
Okay.
and usually like exaggerated.
Toxic ass man.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
exaggerated.
That would
It's
be
not. It's
awful.
usually, but my friend described post nut clarity as like you're just kind of laying there and you're just kind of like, man, like I've got shit to do, and I
Yeah.
just like,
Hmm.
and like, man,
Like,
like,
what am I doing?
what
with
am
my
I
life?
doing with my life?
I
Yeah,
definitely have had that.
I've had that too.
Really?
But I've also
Mine's
had
when the FBI's gonna arrest
I-
me.
the sex police are here for Lizzie.
I'm just kidding.
Sex police are here. Somebody call the
Not
police.
anymore, I don't think that.
Call
This
the
is up to the police.
Can you
call the
imagine?
sex police.
Can you just
Send it
picture
up on
terrified little
Welcome
baby
to
like,
Lizzie.
they're coming.
They're coming
Okay.
for real. Yeah.
No,
No,
hell
'cause
no.
I was thinking
Oh
that.
my gosh.
I have never, I think, okay, I have never masturbated in the daytime, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it was during
I
the
definitely
daytime,
have.
like midday, having an orgasm, I'd be like, what
That's
the
how
fuck
I feel
am
when
I
I masturbate
doing?
in the daytime.
That's how I feel sometimes. Sometimes.
I usually do it
If-
before I go to bed, so I feel
in the
like
morning
no.
when my when I'm
What?
When your roommate's
when my
gone?
roommate's sleeping,
I'm
I'm like, damn it, this is awful, and what am I doing in my life? I'm also like, that wasn't even that good, so.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be too stressed to do it in the daytime. I'd be like, I have 400 things to do.
What's crazy though is how quickly the female orgasm can turn around into a second orgasm.
Oh, true.
Like the turnaround is.
How many times have you
Yes.
orgasmed
What
in
is the
one go?
turnaround? I've never heard of this.
You-
I don't know about this.
How you can have multiple orgasms
In one go?
Happens
essentially in one,
real
not in
quick,
like
hon.
one go. Essentially,
Real quick.
Yeah, it can
Yeah,
How
you can
fast
turn
is
around
the
real quick.
turnaround?
It depends on the person.
It depends on the
I'm
person,
sure.
yeah.
Or
Oh
like
my
how
God.
sensitive you are.
yeah, true.
Well, your
So,
sensitivity
You know how like
increases.
you know how
I know,
some
that's what I'm saying.
people with
You don't
penises
wanna
can
pee.
like people with penises like they can
They've got an intermission.
they'll
between
come but then yeah they have to like eat a power
Yeah.
bar or something.
Right.
Stop.
Get some
And then
protein.
it takes a minute and then they can go again. The
Sure.
female orgasm is actually a quicker turnaround than that.
Oh.
Like,
But
we
it
could go in
depends
the
on the
next 5 minutes.
person. It's not every
You
person.
should Google on average, like, what is the female
I should Google on
turnaround?
average. Let's
Because
find that
that
out.
is
See,
curious.
you
'Cause
know
I
what?
think I've had a lot in one go sometimes, and then like sometimes it's like, nope,
You can't go again.
I can't
Yeah.
do. I'm a pee.
Yeah.
So how many have you had in one?
No, that's how.
How
I
many
feel.
have you had in one go?
I feel like
I
I've
think
had 2 or something.
The max, like 5.
I've had 7.
Whoa.
7.
Whoa.
And after 7, I was like, I'm a sex addict. I was like, I deserve to go to prison by the sex police. Like I deserve,
Oh my
like the
God.
sex police should like throw Lizzie out of the car and come
Whoa,
pick
whoa,
and
whoa.
come pick me up and throw
Ew.
me in jail because that was a lot. I don't know. It was like I was kind of, I was like,
Just in
I
mood.
I was just in mood and I started to just like get ashamed
Really?
After a
Yeah.
while, I was like, this is really sad.
That's how I feel. I'm like,
But I was like,
is
this was so great. But then I was like, when I had to put on clarity, I was like, what am I
Yeah.
doing with my
Wait,
life?
So did you find the average turnaround?
No, let's look at.
Because I think that is fascinating. Because like for me, I feel like I need like a minute or two till I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay,
a minute or
relax.
two.
You know?
No,
Yeah.
it really depends. Because sometimes I'll finish and I'm like, ew, I can't do it again. Like the
Yeah.
thought of doing again is like,
It's like gross.
girl, go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
feel
how I
like
feel too.
It's different though now because like last year I could never do like a second time because I was manually doing it. Versus now I don't have to manually.
See,
You're
true.
welcome. Wait.
Wait.
No, we made
Wow.
No, we
Whoa.
Asha.
Definition.
pause. Context for that
Yeah,
is we went to a sex store
As a group, it wasn't
as a group and we made her get a vibrator.
because
Peer
I'd never had
pressure?
one before.
It is peer
It
pressure.
was healthy peer pressure.
That's good.
Okay, so do
I
we
need
want
it in my
to
life.
hear some stats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is medical news today. So I don't know exactly how
What about yesterday.
how trustworthy this is, but one study suggests that 12% of women in Finland reported multiple orgasms during their last sexual experience. However, the refractory period is the time following orgasm when a person is no longer sexually responsive. In males, the refractory period makes it impossible to become physically aroused, aka like you can't get a boner like right after, like literally
Yeah.
the second
Yeah.
after, right? However, females may lose interest in sex. They are usually physically capable. Oh my god, of engaging in sexual activity again. A 2009 study suggests that women may experience a physiological refractory period. Out of 174 females, so very very small sample size,
Yeah.
96 reported that the clitoris was too sensitive to continue. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I kind of like that. Though.
I mean, it's true because it does get pretty sensitive after.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Like, please leave me alone for a minute. I feel
Interesting. Between different people is a different refractory period. So
Right.
like some people have longer ones or whatever. And then it does affect the longer the refractory period, it does affect the person's ability to have multiple orgasms. So.
Interesting.
But most research into refractory periods focus on males. So researchers
Of course they do.
rarely study into the female perspective.
so. It doesn't say like on average what the turnaround.
Yeah,
time is.
I mean the only study is 174.
174 people out of
wild
like
to me.
representing the entire population.
Right. 3.5 billion
Wow.
people, right?
We could do a little group study here. Just kidding.
Oh
God.
my god.
Listen.
No, I meant like just say the time, not like actually do it. Sorry, let me clarify. I'm
Just
not
do it in
about-
front of
Let's
each other and
do
wait.
it.
Oh
Like,
my
all right, guys, I'm
God.
good again.
It is not that kind of podcast.
No, that's a different podcast. I'm sorry.
That's a different podcast.
I'm not here.
I love how this whole podcast has just been about masturbation.
You know what? That's okay.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
We talk about periods.
We did talk about periods.
We talked about sex education
Yeah.
Barely.
for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
we
no,
got
we did talk
something.
about a bunch of stuff. It is very interesting. Just to hear other people's perspectives because, you know, like, it's so mind-boggling to me how every single person, no matter, like, even if you grew up in the same home, right? So,
Mhm.
like, for information, Lizzie's a twin. And
Thank you.
But it's interesting. It's interesting to even think that like you and Maddie might have some different way of thinking about like sex.
Oh, we
right?
definitely do. We've talked about it.
Like what?
Like just the way we view sex in general. Like,
I've never talked about anything like that with my sister.
oh, well, it's
It's a
just.
twin thing.
Yeah.
Let me think of it. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I just feel like for me, like growing up. Well, actually, I think both of us shared a very common feeling that to talk about sex is taboo, but I feel like I went through a heavier shame period than she did because she didn't really like talk about it in middle school, and I did, but like in a way that I was like, I'm a horrible person for this
Yeah.
to like my
Right.
friends, and she just didn't discuss it with her friends. So
Right.
different, like not upbringings, but we also went to different middle schools, so different cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've never talked about like romantic anything at all with my sister. I mean, we've talked about like her boyfriend or like her ex-boyfriend, and like why they broke up and like things that he would do that she didn't like and like blah blah blah. But like, and she's telling me about like her current boyfriend, but never like anything like physical or like we never talked about. Which one time she asked me like, "Do you have any boys?" And I was like, "Girl, no. What the hell?" Oh, actually, when she asked me that, I was secretly dating my ex.
Oh.
So I did tell her about him, but obviously ex. But like that was it. We never talked about anything like that.
Yeah, and I think another thing for me was like, I started taking birth control really early because I don't know what happened. I don't have PCOS or anything that I know of, but I like stopped having periods after my like first year of having periods for 2 years, so I had to be put on birth control really early. So that was like weird because I had to like take pregnancy tests and
Oh
stuff
my gosh.
at like age like 12, like no, at age like 13, which is like
That
crazy
is crazy.
because like I was not having sex.
Yeah.
And so
But were they doing it out of an abundance of caution, or were they doing it out of like
Doubt.
doubt?
doubt for sure.
What?
Doubt that you like
I was
that?
lying
Wow.
because I also grew up as like more on the like heavier weight, which I'm like fine with now, but growing up it was harder to deal with, so I'm sure a little bit of that was like, she's heavier, let's just check.
Right, like we
And
don't.
I also had like an intensely, like I've realized now, unhelpful healthcare provider. Like my pediatrician did not listen to me very well. Like I've discovered that, and being put on birth control also caused me to gain more weight, which did not factor into a healthy like love and sex relationship. So yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so my sister didn't have to go through that.
They were
So it's
distrusting you.
Yeah.
I actually went through something similar when I was 15. I was getting I think it was my knee checked out for some. I got injured in a softball game, and I had to go to the urgent care, and I was getting an X-ray, and they asked if I was pregnant, but they came in. So let me rephrase.
What?
They came in. I was 15,
Pregnant?
and I was gonna get an X-ray, and so they had to ask if I was pregnant, right? But they came in and they looked straight at my dad, who was in the room with me, and they asked they said, "Is there a chance she might be pregnant?" As if he would know that I would be pregnant. Like they came in and they were like, "Is there any chance she would be pregnant?" Look straight at him. For reference, I'm solely looking at Jayla for some reason. I'm pretending she's my dad. And he goes, "No," and then he looks at me and he goes, "No," like with this question of like, right? And I was like, "No," which was bothering to me because like, why the hell would my dad know?
Yeah.
And like, why wouldn't you
Why
ask
would you
me?
tell him?
Why wouldn't you take him out of the room and
Yeah.
ask me, "Are you pregnant? Are you sexually active?"
Yeah.
Why the hell are you gonna ask? I get I was a minor, but like, why would my dad know?
No,
There's
even as a
still-
minor, because at my pediatrician, they would, once I like reached a certain age, I forget exactly what that age was, but there was a portion of the exam where they would send my mom out of the
I'm
room,
pretty sure it's like 14.
ask me about,
Yeah, it's like when you enter middle school. I feel like.
ask me if
Yeah.
I'm sexually active, if I'm using any type of like drugs or anything like
Yeah.
alcohol, just so that they can give me proper like
Right.
care without having
Right.
to like expose me to my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do that like when you turn 14, you can as a minor you can request that your parent leave the room.
Which I always did after that
See,
point.
my mom, like, although
stay?
she did stay.
Did you want her there?
No.
My mom was also in the room.
Although my mom was very, for those who don't know, my mom was very sex positive growing up. I mean, to an extent, like as much as somebody
wasn't
born
like, "Go have
in the
sex."
60s. Yeah,
Yeah.
she wasn't like when you're 12, right? She was like at a certain age, blah, blah, blah. She had a conversation with me, but she was pretty sex positive. She always preferred us to see sex on TV than violence or drug use or alcohol use. It was always just like sex is a natural thing. And so that's how I grew up. But I had that, and they would always ask my mom, actually. They'd say, or they'd say to me, kind of, and her, they'd
So,
say,
like, in her direction.
do you want her to leave the room to me? And my mom took offense if I said yes.
That's
I feel like a lot of parents
So,
take offense.
Once I hit 17, and I was like, can you go out of the room? I finally
Yeah.
was like, Lauren, you can do it. You can grow up.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. And I was
think
like,
got that one
and she
time.
goes, mm-hmm. And she moved on. She wasn't upset. But
Yeah.
when I was like 15, she took offense.
That's odd to me.
Yeah.
My sister, though, they asked my sister too. They're like, "Do you want your sister to leave the room too?" Which I was like, "Yeah." up, please, like what?
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because I have like older parents, so they were very much like, yeah, we'll leave, like we'll get out of the room
Yeah.
because they were like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think more in a way that was like more like sex is taboo, but also not because my mom's not, but my dad definitely is.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys also have the universal experience where you noticed the paperwork changed too? At the pediatrician, like it went from like how old are you to like do you do
Yes.
alcohol?
And
Are
that
you
long
depressed?
ass-
Are you depressed?
Like
that
literally
long
all
ass
the
list
Yeah.
of all
like-
the are you tobacco, alcohol? Are you depressed? How do you sleep? Blah, blah, blah,
And
blah.
then also,
I'm like,
if
Are you
you
sexually
ans-
active?
And if you
Yeah.
answer yes to any of those, that's a flag.
Yeah.
Like I would
Uh-huh.
answer
It's like
untruthfully.
you have to say no.
I would 100%
Because-
answer untruthfully.
I answered. Okay, so I started using marijuana, weed,
Oh my god,
Mm,
you
a
bad
marriage
bitch.
in,
like-
Oh my
marijuana.
like sophomore, junior-ish year
I heard
of high
the S,
school.
and I thought you were gonna say 6th grade. And I
I
was
thought
like,
you were gonna say
oh,
7th grade,
no.
and I was like, wow.
No.
That's
So
early.
like
I didn't
I
know
was
that.
I was still going to the pediatrician at that point.
Yeah.
So I checked yes because I was like I don't want to lie to my doctor.
yeah.
Right?
It's a flag.
So I know we had a whole conversation about it. She was trying to convince me to stop
Oh.
at the doctor's office. I was like, girl, please,
Girl,
you know I'm
That's
not
not
gonna
your
stop. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's your job. If my lungs sound a little funny, tell me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep going.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. I didn't feel like that was her place.
No, it's
and then
very pressuring.
but at the same time I didn't want to lie about the stuff that I was doing so that I could get proper
Yeah.
care.
I-
so
see-
it's like
That's the
I
thing. My
lied.
best friends lied. All of my best friends were like, "Yeah, you tell the truth," and I was like, "Yeah," so they can give me like the right care.
Yeah.
Because I started using the marijuana. I started smoking weed when I was 15, and so I think so I stopped lying. I was like, yeah. They were like, how? They're like, do you consume or do you use marijuana?
Why do you say it like
Why do you
that?
say it
Just
like
say
that,
weed.
girl? Say
I think
it.
it's more funny to say that. But they were like, do you use alcohol? And I would say yes, and they'd be like, How? Because I actually never saw a pediatrician.
Really?
Like,
You
once
went
I-
straight to
Yeah, I had a real doctor.
because I don't think you can.
Once I hit
Yeah.
like 9 years old, I after we moved from Chicago, I just had a doctor. Like I didn't have a pediatrician. I didn't go to like the pediatrics office or whatever. I was in the big doctor's office.
Well, they
Yeah, I
can still
kinda
have
was too.
pediatricians there.
Mm-mm.
I had my family. We all shared a doctor.
Dr.
Oh,
Iwasaki.
that's dangerous.
Dr.
She
Iwasaki was
lovely.
not a
Dr.
pediatrician.
Baum. She was like the best
That's
doctor in the
Name
world.
dropping.
Yeah, like,
Girl, she's not gonna hear this. I'm also giving her compliments. Like she was such a good
I'm
doctor,
not.
and she like took care of all of us.
Mhm.
And but I think she was like technically a pediatrician. Like
Mm.
Well,
had-
you can have like a family doctor.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
true. There's
Like,
family
they
doctors
are-
versus
We did have a
pediatricians.
family doctor.
So that's probably
So
why.
that's probably because
You had a family
they
medicine.
specialize in like all of it.
Yeah, we
Like, they're
did.
not just
And she was
yeah.
never like, don't do drugs, but she was like,
Yeah.
She would always be like, It was so like,
Mhm.
okay,
Can
okay.
rely on this
So you
guys.
drink. She's like, so you drink often, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, like once a month, like at a party in high school, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, you know what's wild to me
I'm like,
is I went like so I did not like my pediatrician didn't listen to me. Like that is my experience, and I will say I am not a fan of the doctor because of that. I hate going to the doctor's office. It causes me anxiety. Anyway, but last year when I came back from college, we had to do like our yearly checkup. I was shaking. I wanted to cry. Like hated it. I had the best doctor I had in my life, and it was not
Yeah.
my pediatrician, and it was a male, and I was shocked.
shocked.
Because
Damn.
just in general, I've also had negative experiences with male identifying doctors as well. So I was
Yeah.
surprised, and he asked me about like sex, and I was like, no, and he was like, okay, well, you've kissed anyone, like that type of stuff, and I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, are you being safe? And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, cool, great. I can refill your birth control at your school.
Slay.
Like that was it.
Slay.
And I was like, that is the calmest experience I've ever had with a doctor, and I left feeling totally fine compared to every time I left my pediatrician, I'd feel like ashamed,
Yeah.
like uncomfortable. It's very interesting.
Yeah, well, like I had like that doctor, and then I had my like my thyroid doctor. So she was kind of a pediatrician. Like, well, she is. So that's why I had to get a new doctor for my thyroid, but I had her, and she was so fucking nice. Literally every visit was like 6 months or like a year, and she'd be like, "So what have you been eating? How much have you been exercising? What are you doing?" And I'm like, da 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 da. And she's like, "Okay, good. Want to see more of this? Keep up the good work." And then she'd bring in a nutritionist, and we talk about food, and then that'd be it. And then she'd be like, "Okay," and she'd like press my stomach. She'd tickle my throat a little bit.
Tickle.
Because she
Tickle.
has to feel my thyroid. And I'd be like, "Oh, this is so weird," but she was so nice, and she was like tall as fuck. So she's like 6 foot, and she's wearing heels, but she's like already 6 foot with heels.
Wow.
And I was like, "You are like amazing." And then I like went to the Kaiser like in Fort Collins because I had a fucking awful rash in the beginning of the year, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell's going on?" So I went there, and I got seen by this guy, and he was so nice. And the nurse, like, when she was asking, like, "Do you use alcohol?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, because
Yeah.
I had drank like for the first time, so I was like, "Now I have to say yes." I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yes," and she was like, "Be careful, be safe, blah blah." It wasn't like bad. She like had no reaction because she knew I was in college.
Yeah. So
She
she's
was
like,
okay.
okay, girl.
She was
Like, I'm
literally
not
like,
gonna
she
stop
literally
you.
was like, "You're in college, I know, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Okay, thank you. You like made my life so much easier." But then the guy I had, he was lovely, and then he was like, "Oh, like, do you want to get your thyroid checked out? Blah 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 blah," and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." He didn't touch my throat or nothing, which I was like, you know, because like
Yeah.
I'm used to that. But also, this is a segue. It's a different point. But did you guys ever have to go to like the urgent care or anything for like yeast infections, bacteriovaginosis, etc., and have like some random doctor look at your vagina?
I had my family
'Cause
doctor
I
look at my
did.
vagina.
Same.
Oh,
I had my pediatrician look there. That sounds really
A
wild.
gynecologist.
Yeah.
But
see, I
it was
like,
weird
16,
because
though.
it was like a new person to me.
Yeah.
But I
Just
was like,
up in
It
your
feels very
vagina.
invasive. Like, I feel like I need to talk to you for at least like
No.
20 minutes.
okay.
Foreplay
So I
for the
had,
doctor.
like, the doctor, like the actual gynecologist, the one that was like supposed to be checking me out, and then there was like a student nurse,
Stop.
and she's like, "Come look at this." I'm like,
Come look at what?
"What you mean? Come look at this? What's wrong with my
What's
cooch?"
wrong?
No, my mom was always a proponent of anytime I was in the
Oh.
doctor's office, she was like, "Oh my god, of course I can come in. Oh my god, student, I love
you were like-
learning." And I'm like, "Mom." No, but I got that too when I think I told one of you guys this before, but when I was 16 or 17, I think I was 17, and I was seeing my first boyfriend, and I was like, I just like felt so cool. But I was like convinced I had no vaginal canal. I was convinced like my hole was way too small. And I was like, Ellen Iwasaki, my doctor, I was like, "Girl, I need you to look at my vagina because I think something's wrong." I was just like so convinced. I don't know. I started watching porn, so I was looking at vaginas and vulvas that like didn't look like mine, and I was like, "Oh my god, like why doesn't mine look like that?" And like I went to her and I was like, "I think something's wrong with my vulva. Like I think something's wrong." And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I just think something is like, it's too small. I think things are out of place." I was just like so like confused by that.
Sorry, I heard Lizzie's like,
Yeah,
She
swallowed
like
water and I'm like-
gurgled it out.
I heard that.
I'm so sorry. I felt it. I was like,
I was trying not
I'm so
to
sorry.
because we made eye contact and I was.
I heard like a
Oh.
small like.
that was my throat.
I heard like a small stomach gurgle, but
yeah,
I
that was not that.
but I thought it was like a.
I hope that shows up on the audio.
I thought-
That's-
I thought it was like a cat outside for a second,
What?
like a little. Like that's what I heard.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
Your
it's alright.
vagina, no canal.
No canal.
No canal.
Except you have one. So that's
I
good.
do have one, yes.
Lucky
But
you.
I was just, I don't know. I was just, I think in my brain, I was seeing media and I was seeing porn for the first time, and I was just like, something is wrong with my, like, body. Like, my vagina is not supposed to look like that. Like, my vulva is not supposed to look like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think it was for the first time I actually saw, like, real vulvas, and I
Yeah.
wasn't, like, too scared to look away from them. Because, like, in 8th grade, I saw a live birth, and my
Whoa.
eyes were turned away the whole
For
time.
Fun fact: night to watch my birth video.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
My mom made me sit there
Would
and
you
watch
film
it.
your own birth?
Me?
Absolutely fucking
No,
not.
I don't think there's a like.
I do not need
Why
to
would
see
I-
I didn't
anything
have to
coming out of my
watch.
vagina.
I didn't have to
Yeah.
watch myself come out because apparently the doctor told my grandma to put the camera away.
That's hilarious.
That's
Good,
Um,
good doctor.
Thank God. But I saw like everything leading up to that.
The pushing.
the shit. I'm scared.
I saw my dad almost faint.
Oh my god.
my
It
God.
was, yeah. Anyways,
No,
continue.
I just, I don't know. I think in my head, I was just like, because I was just scared to look at like vulvas for the first time, and I'd never really like thought about one in depth and everything, and like, so I just kind of.
It's not me.
That was not me.
That was
That
not my
not me
stomach.
either.
That was my stomach.
I was like, that was not me, everyone. Let's get this on the record.
And I think sometimes, shit like that really takes an effect on like young girls, because I was just
Yeah.
like, and then she looked at my vagina, she was like, girl, you're fine. She was like,
Stop.
there's nothing wrong with your vulva. She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, there's nothing wrong. And she was like, everything looks completely fine with the age that you are. Nothing's wrong. I'm glad you got it checked out, but there's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, I almost took a tear to my eye. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
I definitely had one of those experiences too. It was in 4th grade.
Oh.
I was in Texas and I got a yeast infection,
Oh my God.
and
And
I
they
thought
told you that
I
you were
was
okay?
dying. I was like, every time I pee, I need to pee again, and it hurts. And I thought I was dying. I was like, something hurt my vagina.
Yeah.
And I was crying on the toilet, and my mom
Oh my
heard me
God.
crying in the bathroom, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Something is wrong." And then I
Yeah.
described what's happening. She's like, "You have a yeast infection,"
Yeah.
which apparently is prone. Like, I'm prone to them.
Mm.
So
Yeah. My mom was prone to UTIs.
I've never had either.
I
think.
had-
it's horrible. Do not recommend.
Yeah,
I had
10 out of 10
bacterial
don't recommend.
vaginosis,
Oh my gosh.
which was
Mm.
like fine, but I just like
Girl.
itched all the time.
It was like fine.
And I was
No,
like,
no, it's not.
I was like, Mom, there's something wrong. Like, because like I'm pretty sure I had a yeast infection at one point when I was
Yeah,
like
they're
in
horrible.
high school, but like it went away. So I was like,
They
okay,
do go
slay.
away.
And me and my best friend just talked about this like not too long ago. But like we were scared because we had like these weird sensations. We were like, something's wrong with us. But like we were too scared to be like, hey, Mom, like something's wrong with us. Like we need to go to the doctor. So we just let it ride out. And then it would like go away. And then it would come back
Yep.
like every so often. And it would be like itchy and like smell bad. And we'd be like, okay, whatever. Like we'll just ride it out. But then I was like, I got to a point where I was like, Mom, something's like literally wrong. Like I need to go to the doctor. So I was like, bacterial vaginosis, you know, had a little swab. That was
The
really fun.
visual. I didn't need the hand
I'm
movements.
sorry. That's what
There's no shame, Lauren. No shame.
No
no
shame,
shame,
no
no
shame.
Yeah. And like, they were like, here, take this medicine. I was like, okay. And then it went away. But like that, like fear throughout high school was like,
It's bad.
it was like it was like junior and high. I don't know. It was bad. And like then I got a small UTI like over winter break for some reason. Don't know why.
just decided to come around.
And then I like chugged water and cranberry juice and took these pills that my mom had because she's prone to UTIs, and I was fine. But I did have to pee a lot.
Yep.
It didn't like burn. It wasn't like irregular. I just had to pee a lot, but there was never a lot of pee.
Yeah.
And I hated that.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today.
That's what we're gonna leave the note on.
We are going to leave the note on the
Why
UTIs.
would we leave it on the UTI? Can
Well, okay, we'll do a final note.
Fun fact about a vagina.
You could share a fun
can't leave
fact.
it on the no that I just
Share a fun fact.
I don't have a fun fact.
Does anyone have a final note? I just want to say to anyone listening that has a vagina or a vulva, I mean, not or, and,
Yeah, go.
Hey,
that,
there's some people out there who don't have one or the other. Probably.
whatever. That, I just want to say that your vulva is normal, and you should feel no shame around it. And I know that some of you might feel shame, and that's okay, but you shouldn't feel shame. And that your vulva is normal, and porn is fiction.
And whatever you've experienced, like at the doctor or like
Mhm.
whatever,
Look at the
is
doctor.
fine and also normal.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and if your healthcare provider is not fulfilling your needs or not trusting you,
Switch.
if you're
Ditch their ass.
if your healthcare
It's
provider is convinced that you are pregnant, like they were with Lizzie, and forces you to take a pregnancy test, please get a new health
Yeah,
provider.
I got held against my will. Like, go take a pregnancy test, and I was like, okay. I peed in the cup, okay?
But always remember that getting a new health provider is totally valid and totally fine. And I've done it when I felt like my needs weren't being met. I got a new health provider. And hell, I might get a new one soon because I don't even like her that much either. So there you go.
Oh my God.
So don't be scared to make the switch.
Yeah, don't be
Sponsored by some doctor.
sponsored by Kaiser Permanente.
CSU Health.
Because we CSU Health. Because we name dropped multiple
Yeah.
doctors today. Anyone else have a final note they'd like to add?
Kangaroos have multiple vaginas.
Kangaroos?
Yeah. Multiple vaginas.
Damn, girl, how many pussies
You
you
got. And on that note,
Thanks.
right there, boom.
No,
Click
I was
off.
just gonna say, like, don't be scared to communicate with your partner your needs either.
Mhm.
Because I can say that I am scared to communicate with my partner and it does nothing for me. So please, like, I know it's scary. I understand. I
Yeah.
feel your pain.
Yeah. No, I would reiterate that as well. Like, I used to be scared too of just going along with everything. But if your needs aren't being met, if you aren't being
If it
shown,
hurts,
if it hurts,
tell
Stop.
them.
Literally, yeah.
Tell them.
And
Because
if they
that
make fun of you for it,
then
leave
fuck
them.
them.
knock him in the
Like,
ass.
they're-
I'm not gonna say I can't condone assault on this, but if somebody's making fun of you for the way that you feel about your body or how you're feeling,
They
bitch,
don't
drop
hit their
kick
ass.
them.
Like, get them out of your
Literally kill
bedroom.
them.
Okay, don't.
Okay, so
Okay, ignore that. Cut that out.
Bleep.
No,
I just
but
mean, don't kill them, but like, you know what I mean.
but
It's a
kick
metaphor.
that bitch out of your house, okay?
Metaphorically kill them.
Yeah.
If somebody is not treating you the way that you want to be treated, if somebody's making fun of you for the way that you feel, kick that bitch out of your house.
Right.
Call one of us and we will come kick that bitch out of your house for you.
And we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Yeah. We'll talk about kicking bitches.
Out the house.
And by bitches, I'm not referring to anyone.
Strictly.
I'm strictly men.
Men.
Strictly those that identify as men. Women are not bitches, okay?
Yeah.
They're not bitches, okay? Unless they're like, bitch. That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
This is getting very complex.
I'm sorry, I just had to clarify because
No, I know. Because bitches is usually correlated with women.
exactly.
So.
And I just want to clarify.
That's a whole other topic. For
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
podcast.
I'm just saying we'll kick a bitch out of your house
Yeah.
in the next podcast.
For
Such
you.
as in men, as in derogatory.
As in men.
Derogatory men.
Derogatory men. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys all for joining us today.
Check out your socials.
Check out, actually, thank you, Lizzie, for the shout out. Check out Sexpo Week on Instagram. We're posting new things there. And we do have a new website. It is sexpoweek.godaddysites.com. My bad. So check out that website as well. You can check out our new video that we just put out. We've got some more stuff coming out pretty
We're all
soon.
in it, aren't we?
I think we all are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one.
Oh,
Wow.
Really?
And the thumbnail too.
Wow, you're exposing
Ooh.
yourself. So yeah, you'll get to see all of us. So check that out. Check out our site, our Instagram. We also have an email. It's sexpoweek@gmail.com. So email us with any questions you have whatsoever. Anything you need. If you'd like to be involved in the project, we'd love your help. Message me through Instagram, email, whatever you'd like, and I'll respond to you when I get a chance. So yeah, thank you guys again for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode, hopefully.
In the next episode.
And we'll be talking about kicking bitches. Oh, we got some
Some vocal.
outro music.
That's copyrighted.
Sorry. Oh shit. My bad.
But thank you guys again, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye.